Hey everyone, welcome back to Seekers of the Malediction. I am Pat, and today we're doing a battle report for the TTS tournament that is happening in April. I am playing my Auric deck that I've been rocking, named John Wick, or John Orwick rather. Um, and I'll be doing a deck review on it after the tournament wraps up. So this is a 32-person event, 3 round Swiss, so it's definitely going to come down to tiebreakers, which unfortunately is still master differential. Really wish they would change that to strength of schedule. Even with 32 players, and I think there's going to be like, what is that, like 4 undefeated, I believe. Um, it'll be interesting to see how much strength of schedule really determines even the top four. So Longshanks, tracks that, and we'll get to see that side by side with the mastery differential. I'm guessing that maybe it will still come down to mastery differential, but I'm just curious to see how much that is. But that being said, definitely have to play to not lose things and try to table your opponent as hard as you can. Yeah. So here I am playing Sarcast Halls. All of my spells are channel speed except for Endless Rage. Um, I'll go into this more, but really what this deck is trying to do is it has a lot of little combos. So it is actually it's probably one of the more difficult decks I've had to play. And honestly, I don't think it's that great. So it doesn't have a super high ceiling, but it also has a super high floor. It is probably one of the funnest decks I've ever had to play, which I'll get more into this when we do the deck review. But turn one, I have a really good start here. Double Priest is amazing. So I'm just looking to essentially get out fast things, get up the board, and be able to pray to get a bunch of echo. I do end up dropping my entire hand here, I believe, um, or all the units in my hand, and that's because Paxos Gorehorn is going to run away with the first activation. Actually, I might not drop the Shaman or the Terric Beast. It was one of those two. But ideally, you have 4 units here, because Paxos Gorehorn is going to run away. Actually, no, I drop all 5 because, yeah, duh, I can't do math. Um, when the Paxos runs away, then the priest can pray, get all 3, and move up 6 inches. So that's why I opt to decide to play all 5. Uh, Also, again, the intent of this deck is to play Auric turn 2 always. There's a lot of cool combos in this deck that I don't know if any happens this game, but Auric definitely is the centerpiece of this deck, which is awesome and fun to, he's a fun model to play with. So you have to have 10 echo up for round 2. So what am I at here? I'm at 12, 15, 17. So I'll have 3 left over, but I'll gain 6, go to 9, and then another 4 for the round. I'll be at 13. So plenty of echo to drop Auric next turn, thanks to the priest. But that is something that you need to be conscious of in this deck. Is I'm always planning, hey, do I have at least 10 to be able to drop Auric? Um, Yeah, so most times, you're not bidding away the units. Really, this deck, it kind of it has a fast start, aggressive kind of. You want to be up on activations for it, but its swarming isn't really the main objective. So my intent is to get up the board, take early Husk, contest Husk as well to deny my opponent, and then be able to reinforce off Orc way up the field and just really put him in a place where your opponent hopefully can't ignore him. And then he is going to have a lot of value with counterattack and the spells that you're playing, to just cause chaos is kind of the intent. So I put my Paxos Gorehorn right here. I'm really beginning. The more I play with this model, my early suspicions on it are confirmed. I really love it. I don't think the drawback on it is nearly as detrimental as it seems on paper. The having to go first and charge. Um, you can do things like put it here where I kind of block line of sight from him, so he can't really charge anywhere he wants to go. I can't fit through that window to the left there, so I can't charge the Paxos to the left. And I'm figuring he's going to end somewhere on the husk here, and so the Paxos can't even see Karl Marmok based on that. So the only way he would have to charge next turn is if he drops something in deployment that would engage him. But I can also, I'm deploying Auric, and I can also play Auric in a position that blocks line of sight as well, more. So, just be conscious. Just because this thing has to charge and go first doesn't mean you need to. It needs to charge to its death, essentially. Um, so here, just moving up the priest, going over and picking up these other relics. I decide, you know what, I'm going to have one of these priests pick up the husk. So I will battle cry it with the shaman, and then the shaman is also going to battle cry this Terric beast. I left a little gap there between the Paxus and the terrain, so I could make sure that I deny this husk from Karl Mamak, and as well as any kind of additional deployments. So turning that off there. And I was able to get a charge off on it, which is great because she has already activated, so she doesn't have shielded. So I think that's, yeah, 3 damage, and she does not have a lot of HP. So I think with these new Seekers, Liena and Griza, both of them only have 14 HP. That's not a lot, to be honest with you. Yes, Liena has shielded, Griza has a really high armor or defense. But if you just start putting chip damage into them, they have to play very conservatively, and it kind of throws them off their game, is what I found. So, this choice of brutality, probably once I get there, I'll fire that off into Liena as well, just do some more damage. Just kind of whittle her down and make her have to make suboptimal plays of shifting, get away, or telekinesising away, and really make her play more cagey rather than up front beating things to death that she really wants to do. So I am a big dummy too. I'm thinking this Paxus has to charge this priest, completely forgetting that he can just charge back to the Terric beast back there by Liena. So my whole turn is I'm kind of game planning that this Paxus is going to come in to me, and then I'll be able to kill it for free. And I just completely blanked that it could just charge the Terric beast. But that's okay. So he bids for initiative. I'm fine letting it go. I'm playing Auric, and I want to leave up this rush of salvation to get Auric. Even though Auric is going to have boots now, um, one rush of salvation is great because Auric still takes the hit, so he can counterattack off of it, but then he can kind of transfer the damage as like a pseudo protection. It's also great because you can use it as movement to get up the field and get into better position. You can catch your opponent off guard, make movement on a unit that has already activated to go and deny a husk or something like that. So um, I've accidentally bid this card away before, and I can tell you that it's one of the cards I don't bid away anymore. It's just too versatile. It's too good. There's always use cases for it, so definitely don't use this one as a bid if you can avoid it. And to be honest with you, the cards that I've been bidding away have often been the attachments themselves, which is a little counterintuitive in Auric. Attachments are, they're good, and I have some. I'm running 2 in this list: the boots for more speed and hit and run, as well as the horned helmet for more damage. Both of those great attachments, and I definitely want to see them on the field. They help your card draw. This deck draws a lot of cards with like Choice of Brutality, Trial of Stone as well, but the it's just one of those things where I think that early on in the game, the attachment isn't doing much for you. So I'd much rather draw it in a round 2 or 3, or play it off of the Call to Arms spell, which is also in this deck. So I'm really happy here. He plays a big unit. So this is, I have a bunch of activations right now. He only has 3. This is exactly the position I want to be in. I just have to, these are big threats though, so I gotta do my best to try to keep my activations on board, keep things alive, so I can really capitalize on out activating him and put him in even a worse position. So he's trying to adrenaline rush here. I call out that Karl Mamak's not exhausted, so it would only be 1. I think he was trying to duplicate it. I'm not quite sure if he still is going to do that, or if he takes it back in the hand, which is fine. He's going to stride instead. So here he's striding. This is a great play. Striding the Paxus into engagement so you can double swing on this Taric, as well as give shielded and resistance 1 to Liena. This makes her extremely tanky. I can't even bother. It's not even worth hitting her until she's exhausted now because she essentially has resistance 3 when she is readied. So 2 hits on the Taric. Definitely going to be losing this Taric Beast. Gorehorn has to go here in order to essentially turn off well, I have 2 Gorehorns, so yeah, I have to go here. So this Taric's gonna probably die before I get in, unless I want to try to save it with Rush of Salvation. So here, just tying up this other guy so he can't shoot and do AoE. I know he has Adrenaline Rush, so yeah, I should almost just count on this Taric Beast dying at this point. I have another Paxus that has to go first. Um, so I'm assuming that this thing is as good as dead. The good news is after Karmama goes and Sethic, right? Like I have a lot of. I'm gonna have how many? One. So Tarek will be dead. I'll have probably 3 more activations after he's done out of activations. Um, so um, I'll have lots of room to move up with the priest and pray. Shaman always going last is great in order to be able to battle cry something to put him in a position where your opponent didn't expect it. I definitely want to continue to contest this husk and engage um, the all his units to kind of cut off reinforcements here if I can. So using Adrenaline Rush to then move over and attack this other Gorehorn, and since it's Liena's turn and she's exhausted, she duplicated on Sethic, so Sethic can also make an attack as well. Um, so I see an opportunity here now that he left the husk open, so I can run and grab this with the Paxus, which is exactly what he's going to do. I maybe should have been more cagey about this, to be honest with you, and waited to go do this until afterwards because I don't know if he really realized his mistake here. I think after the game he said that he kind of forgot about this husk when he moved Karamomek away from it. But I think that he is able to, yeah. He kills that, gets the discount, and then plays telekinesis to move my Paxus into a really great position here. TK, by the way, it is within 5, not completely within 5, and I think we've been playing this wrong. Everyone has been playing this wrong, from my understanding. I kind of called this out on the rules forums a couple weeks ago, but essentially, as long as a part of your base is touching, it's just like reinforcement with using the verbiage within. Is as long as there is a part of your base touching within 5 of its original position, you can move that. So. What he's doing here essentially is he's targeting TK with Karamama to move her and then reverberating it onto the Paxus to move him into that position. He did it a little bit backwards, but it wouldn't have changed anything just due to that position was already open, right? Like it would have mattered if he tried to put Karamama back where the Paxus was because she has to literally move first, but this is just a semi-competitive event. It's fine. But great positioning on this Paxus here. This Paxus can't go anywhere. On the big terrain for the Starcast halls, the pillar and the north pit wall right there is too small for a large base to get through. And then the window right there is also on the bottom left of his position. That's also too big for a large base. So the only really place this Paxus can go is up into the husk or down where Auric is blocking. And Auric is in a, this completely blocked off Auric's turn. He had boots. He was going to move up and really just cause chaos um, to kill this thing, or to, get up there and just do bunch of damage. He also goes with Sectar now and is doing AoE, some splash damage onto his Gorehorn as well as Auric. So great turn and great use of his spells, you know, for that activation. So now I have lots of options. I have all four of my units, these back units left to go. I'm trying to, what I would really like to do is one, contest the husk. I think that's number one priority. Two, try to engage everything if possible, just to cut off his reinforcements. He has a lot of large bases, so like if I made him deploy further back into his deployment zone, getting his units up to really do anything is going to be pretty impossible. But I don't think I'm going to have be able to do everything that I want. So I think I opt to just play it safe, get a bunch of echo. I have two really great spells. Um, you know, get some card draw, get more units on the field to kind of set up for a good reinforcement next turn, and yeah, go from there. So. And I believe I have Auric swing around, and Auric is the one that's going to contest this husk now, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, just realizing he's not going to be able to go anywhere too short even to, like, I could get one charge off there, but that seems hardly worth it. Also, he can kind of collapse on Auric then with all three of his units. Don't really like that position. So I believe I swing him around here to the right ultimately. Seeing if I could charge Karmamuk there. That would be really nice to just, do 5 damage to her essentially. Um, a lot of tight areas here right now, so just pre-measuring everything that I can. It looks like I was able to free move and then charge here and kind of wiggle through there, which is why I put the base. Kind of forgot I did that. But this also contests the husk. For some reason, I thought I looped all the way around and just contest the husk this turn. Um, so just trying to put more pressure on her. And I just realized those boots should have been, or that helmet should have been banished, but it's the same effect. So taking 1 damage here only. Not a lot of high cost. I think the curve kind of maxes out at 5. I have 2 knights and a endless rage in the deck, so that the most I would have gotten out of 5. But I love choice of brutality just for a little bit of chip damage, but also card selection. You're drawing 2 and you get to pick the best card of those 2 and just do a little damage. I think this card is just so great and versatile. I'm putting it into pretty much all my red decks. Um, so a little bit of a blank here. Only 1 unit, which is a little painful, but we have a lot of great spells here, and plenty. I'm going to be flush with Echo to pretty much play everything. Would have loved to draw a knight here or something like that to play a knight with it, especially because you want to. The way the deck works is you want to have really spend all your echo during the deployment phase to play a unit, which is why you play, quite a few units in this deck. I can't remember the count offhand. I think it's like 17 or 18 or something like that. It might even be like a little bit higher. It might be 19. Um, you're wanting to use all your echo to play units and then really make use of breaking items. So like if you like the attachments rather, to gain echo, or priest to gain echo during the activation round to be able to play your spells. So that's the most efficient way to play this deck. It's kind of, I would say, consider it more combo-y than tempo-y. You're not exactly trying to go under your opponent and play out. Like this deck survives just fine going late game. But there's a lot of these little combos. Trial of Stone is another really cute one as well, where you can use it on Auric, and then when they swing back, you're actually hoping that they hit Auric so that he can counterattack, right? So for a 2-cost spell, oftentimes a 1-cost because you're on Starcast Halls, you're going to hit them for 5. If that doesn't kill them, hopefully they'll hit you back. And if they do hit you back, then you get to make a second attack, right? So that's like 10 burst damage if you can reliably hit 2 times with Auric and they hit you. And it can kind of catch a lot of people unaware, right? If you have like a relic holder way in the back or something like that, you can do things like double run Auric, and that's his activation, and they think he's safe. Even if it's in a position where he couldn't charge, but you double run him, engage it, then play Trial of Stone, and all of a sudden, like, you just have him, Auric smack him twice. Which, if it's a relic holder like 8 health or something like that, you only need to hit once, and you can kind of kill them out of nowhere. Um, So the right way to do this is draw the cards one at a time to show the opponent. I almost always in a casual game ask, do they trust me to grab the first one on top? Most opponents are willing to do that. So I just look at my deck just for, to make it quicker, grab the first one in order, reading, top to bottom, left to right. And then I will reveal and play that. So that goes on Auric. Really, I'm kind of concerned a little bit just about his HP. That's the other really finessey style of this play style, and kind of why I reference this deck kind of to John Wick, the movie. So it really does feel like Auric is going all over the place, just kind of like murdering things. But just like John Wick, he takes a beating. Like, and you have to be careful with his health, which is why the Rush of Salvations are in there. There are 2 knights in there, which honestly I might bump up to 3 knights. I have a couple of custodians in the sideboard, which is kind of counterintuitive because the custodians, you don't really want them grazing, right? Even critical grazing Auric. But he is very susceptible to being shot at. So if they have a lot of range presence, it's really great to have them in the deck to be able to exhaust, to only take 1 damage when someone's shooting at him and he can't graze. Um, but yeah, I've gotten like Reapers and 2 Horned Helmets on him, and he's hitting at 9-7, and just like murdering things. It's really fun, especially when you can get boots on him and you can kind of do crazy combos like kill a unit, move up, Trial of Stone, or Rush of Salvation, get in position. Like he definitely is a hammer, pun intended there. So Paxuses are going to go first. I think he got some unlucky grazes there, if I'm not mistaken, to not kill my own Paxus. I wasn't really paying attention, but I believe that this Paxus stays alive, um, which was kind of unexpected. And so I'm wanting to go early on and really just, I know that this Taric Beast is as good as dead, but I'd rather, lose a 2-cost model rather than like a 4-cost or Auric. So my plan here is to jam this Taric Beast into Sakar, block some line of sight, although he might have pinpoint. But just kind of tie these guys up and make it harder for him to, activate efficiently. It looks like I stayed out of range of the Battlecast. Yeah, I did stay out of range of the Battlecaster just because I didn't want him activating first, getting Spell Strike, murdering this Taric Beast, and then having Sektar shoot. So I'd much rather, turn off the range gun of Sektar, make him use an attack to kill me in melee, or, you know, or something else, some other resource to kill this Taric Beast so that he can freely shoot. So I'm kind of positioning myself here with this priest, by the way. You kind of saw me looking up the side there. My plan is to clear this husk off with like to kill Karmarmuk, kind of, and then have the priest loop around and kind of be able to backline grab it because I feel like no matter what, the Auric is still going to be engaged, or anything kind of up in there is going to be engaged. So I really need something to kind of loop around behind and grab it to be able to secure it once things are stopped contesting it. So and Paxos, again, going back to the swarm list, like you're going to lose models and you're going to give up a lot of mastery in this list, which is why I also hate mastery differential. You're going to be breaking items. You're going to be uh, you know, losing Tarek Beast, Gore Horns, but those are the models you want to lose, right? Because you're only giving up 2 to 3 mastery when those die. You don't really want to give up 4 mastery from priests that are die really easily, or Auric himself. That would be really detrimental. So um, here he makes an attack against Auric, and I move this priest up to be able to take the shot. I believe wrap around behind. I don't think I moved that one. I think I just wanted to see what that is. And oh, to get another gun potentially on. Oh, do I take this one to be able to double shoot? Or I thought it was the back one that I do end up doing. Oh, I guess I do take that one. And I'm not activating with Auric on purpose here, just because with Liena upright being shielded, she's going to. Well, now I kind of have to because he has put up quite a bit of damage. It looks like, but I was really wanting to hit for him to go first with Liena to drop that shielded because right now with the Aegis, she is taking 3 less damage per turn, which is uh, a lot. That means on hits I'm only doing 2. If I graze, I'm doing nothing, right? So swinging into her, I really can't do anything. Um, I think I go with. Well, I'm gonna just not guess, and we'll just watch together because I kind of forget how I pull myself out of this one. I think I move out of range with the boots after killing the Paxos is gonna be my guess. So yeah, I decide I can't hit Liena. She's way too or Karmamuk. That's 0 damage. So that will hit for 4. I'm gonna have to play the Trial of Stone to just kill him and not roll a 1 here. Hopefully, did it. So I'll draw a card there. And then I think I move with my free movement. Yep, I get him out of there so that uh, he's not at risk of dying. I want to make sure that she can't squeeze right there and engage me. So putting this in a position that makes it really unadvantageous to engage Auric and kind of keep him safe. So I'm just doing some counting here. I think I gave him more mastery here after I kind of audited it too, because I put that horned helm that I banished from Choice of Brutality into my deck. So I think that when I go back to kind of count this up, I kind of forgot about that too. That should have been banished and not in my discard. And I just kind of counted it as assumed. Uh, I destroyed it for something, but you can see he's killed, a Teric Beast, 2 and 2 Gore Horns, which is, that's a lot. That's what is it, 16? Sorry, 32. He's done 32 damage worth of stuff, and for all that effort, he's only gained 8 mastery, and then the other 2 right now is from the horned helmet I broke. Um, so just the value of small, units and large hit points do, really sucking up a lot of these activations from, these elite units and just kind of making it inefficient on and what they're killing here. So he's seeing if he can get this guy in. I thought I'd back him up and ask him. Oh, I guess he did have enough to squeeze by there. Crit in here, which is crazy. So that's gonna bring her down to 1. Uh, Thankfully, she has the heart on it. But yeah, this is 4, 6, and then double spell strike is 8. So that would have killed her, but thankfully, I think she has the heart. So getting her out of danger because, there's still spells from Karmama, so I'm just shifting away, activating her right away, not dropping this husk. It would have been nice to stay there and shot at Liena once she drops, activates, but I got to make sure I don't lose mastery here. And he's kind of blocked her, Liena, unless he has more spells to get at this priest. I think this priest is pretty safe, just because there's no, unless he has like a TK or something, I don't think he can really get Karmama onto that priest. So, and he's kind of, this is where having very few models is starting to kind of bite him. Karmamuk's kind of just stuck here contesting this husk because I have units that can go and sweep and pick this up, but at the same time, he kind of needs to be efficient with his activation. So a turn where he just kind of sits there and does nothing or goes into Auric, which probably doesn't feel great for him, is not what he wants. An unfortunate 1 on the Karmamuk on the Terric Beast. So charging here to be able to turn off engagements and deny him picking up that husk. And then the other one, the priest is going to loop around. She doesn't have a relic here, so she's going to actually pick up this husk, just figuring out where I want to position her. The husk will be gone, so I'll be able to drop things off in front, kind of keep a lane to Auric to be able to kill maybe this battlecaster, but everything else kind of keeps safe. So now we have a bunch of units that hopefully the game's going to end this next round. We're getting low on time, but I asked my opponent because we did kind of play relatively slow, and I'm for these casual TTS events, we run them with the clock, and that's what we both play by. But if me and my opponent were both wanted to kind of keep playing, so we just continued playing even though the time would have been down. I don't know. I think for stuff like this, who really cares about the winner of these things? It's I don't know, but the results would have been the same. And if he would have beat me, I would have been happy to record it that way. But I felt comfortable in this position, and I would have been happy playing dice down because I think at that point my mastery differential might have actually been higher. I think we'll see, but Auric goes up. I'm at 39, kills that. I think he is going to get a pretty good turn here with the Terric Beast, or with Sectar, doing a lot of AoE splash damage and just, killing a lot of stuff. Um, So he's opting to take retaliation attacks here in order to shoot my priest, which is going to do splash damage to pretty much everything. So everything taking damage, including Karamamuk, but she's only taking one, so that's pretty okay. I'm opting to take the damage from the Auric onto the Knight because I just want to keep him up. He has a relic, so it's imperative that he stays alive. With Spell Strike, this does kill him, so that's how he was doing enough damage to kill the Knight there. And then since he did kill something, he is able to move, or play a second spell this turn, rather. Um, Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to. Um, Kind of point out that he's not able to grab line of sight because pinpoint doesn't go through Huss. So he's trying to reposition and get a better line here. I think we eventually just get it. Yeah, I give it to him there just because, again, it's a casual game. Another kill, drops the Huss there. So I opt to go with the Shaman because I don't want any more shenanigans with spells and stuff like that. So I'm going to kill this Sectar just to make sure because I'm not afraid of Liena at this point. If she goes and, with one spell or, one activation just herself, it's not really going to matter. She would have trampled through, but there's really no place that she could have trampled through. But I trampled through with her and Sectar could have been kind of painful. Um, and that is his last card as well. So I think at this point, that's pretty much going to do it. Like I said, we kind of called the game already, and we're just kind of playing out and talking out through here. Um, you know, because time was coming, and he said we were fine. We didn't rush the game to take it, but we would have rushed through this round, and I think I just end up not even killing Liena and just picking up one husk to kind of put me over what I needed. Right, I'm at 38. Yeah, I go to 48 by picking up one husk. I don't even bother killing Liena. She does a couple more damage by killing some Terric beasts and reducing the mastery differential even more. So I think that's where we end it. If you guys like the content, I appreciate you liking and subscribing. Otherwise, until then, have a good one.